airbrushing. It is crazy and it's come twisted because, you know, I don't know any photographer actually or any publication that does not Photoshop, you know. And then we're being fed this information every day in our lives. We walk into newsagents, we see Vogue, we see the Zia, we see, you know, IG, we see all these like magazines projecting idealized, sexualized images of perfect women and perfect men and perfect big brands. And it's completely unrealistic. How can you maintain that every day? How can the average Joe earning £4 an hour maintain that image? Possible. So it creates dissatisfaction.
Yeah, and confusion as well, I suppose, in society.
Confusion about your own identity. You know, who am I? Who do I want to be? I want to be that person, but I can't be that person because I don't have the financial means to be that person. And then of course, but you have like Primark and stuff who try to make that image accessible to the everyday person. At the end of the day, you know, you're going to be dissatisfied no matter what. At the end of the day.
But what's your opinion about Primark? I mean, because you're a presenter and you obviously work within the fashion area quite a lot.
Yeah.
And
I'm in the industry, like.
Yeah. So I mean, what's your? I mean, when I come across people in the industry, I think lots of them are quite positive towards Primark because they think it's doing some sort of amazing job.
No, absolutely not. First of all, there's ethical issues with Primark. It's very much wrong the way the prices that the kind of the wages that they pay their workers in India. Like, you know, I've seen 10,000 documentaries, 10,000 articles on it, and it's shocking. It's shocking. Now, I'm not going to front. I do have stuff from Primark, but I kind of regret buying it, and I don't think I'm going to go back ever. Like, I think I haven't bought from Primark in about 5 months.
Okay.
It's just because I think it's a commercialized. First of all, it's a mass marketing of designer wear, couture wear.
Sure. Okay.
So there's another ethical issue there.
Exactly.
The designers and the kind of the people who hand stitch 20 million sequins on a couture dress.
Exactly.
They haven't got any clientele anymore because their clientele are saying, why am I going to pay 20 grand for a dress where I could get a kind of similar copy in like French Connection for 70 quid? And therefore, those are kind of like the people in the industry who've been there for years who are actually crafted in their work. They're designers, they're dress makers, they're a dying breed. Primark market themselves as making designer look, the design aesthetic available for the Joe public, but at what cost?
Nothing.
Yeah.
And you know, the people making it, some of them don't get paid properly. I mean, that's
it's shocking. The wages. Like, just Google it. Primark workers in India, and you'll see it's shocking. They don't look after the people who make up the big brands, and that's where these big brands stuck. And they're not fashion. It's not. Primark is not fashion. It's not.
So what would your sort of message be to, like, you know, okay, I mean, you know, when someone who's a bit young sort of wants to go into the fashion area of life?
I'm 20, I'm in it, I've been in it since I was 17. Like, I think it's important to instead of mindlessly wandering into the industry and mindlessly buying magazines and wandering into Primark and thinking, oh, it's so great, I can get this top for £2, like, amazing. Just always think twice, have a conscience. Really ask yourself where that piece of fashion came from, who's behind the brand, what are they trying to do, are they trying to control us, are they trying to dictate to us? You don't want to be a sheep at the end of the day, you don't want to be controlled by a brand, because that's our freedom taken away. So it's all about having fashion with a conscience. Don't eradicate fashion from your life, but you can't, it's possible. And don't take it too seriously. You've got to understand that it's beating quite superficial industry. But with really creative people behind it. The industry is superficial, but the creatives behind it are not. But I think that's beside the point. I just think it's important just to live your life with a conscience, whether that be buying fashion, ethically living your life with morals, anything. Just have a conscience with everything you do. Think twice.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a great thing to sort of, you know, for everyone to hear, I suppose. Yeah, I think we've kind of gone through quite a bit now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to add on?
No, I'm okay. I think I've done everything.
quite interesting because Dan talks about the whole sort of really anti-fashion side, but it kind of molds in together with the whole ethical issue, doesn't it? Because I end up talking about that every time I talk about Dan's video.
Exactly, it goes hand in hand. It's the minute you say no to fashion, it's the minute you're also eradicating tens of thousands, if not millions and millions and millions of jobs.
Right,
and that is, I'm not just talking to people who work on the retail or the Marc Jacobs or Henry Holland of this world, kind of dramatic and beautiful and glossy on the outside. I'm talking factory workers, I'm talking manufacturers, I'm talking distributors, I'm talking the buildings that the kind of brands like Primark and Topshop rent of, And I think in this time of economic turmoil, it's important to keep these jobs. But then at the end of the day, it's also important to have the regulations and make brands like Primark have better work facilities and better pay for the people who make up the brand.
What about yourself though? I mean, because you work within fashion, probably lots about shops where to get stuff from. What do you do? Like, how do you go about getting your stuff? Like, do you know what I mean? Like putting it together, like.
But just like buying an outfit, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Well, what I like to do actually, because it has a little bit more ethical kindness to it, I guess, is buying vintage clothes, charity shop clothes. First of all, cheap. It's cheap and it's been used and it's recycled fashion. Just like it's really good to recycle your rubbish, and every council encourages us to have a recycling box and put our litter in there. It's very important that we encourage vintage shopping and charity shop buys, because it's just an ethical way of buying fashion. Do you know what I mean? You're recycling clothes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I just think that's a really good way. And also it's cheap. It's easy.
Right, yeah.
And it also gives you an individuality, your own identity. When you buy something vintage, you don't really go with something that's mass marketed. It's normally actually one of a kind.
That's right, yeah.
One thing less. So it's very important to have your own image and not be led to think that you have to look a certain way just as the magazine said for you to look that way. So I think it's very important to have individuality and very important to buy vintage, second-hand, charity shop, because that's good too.
Excellent, yeah, it's brilliant. Okay, I'll turn this off now.